My name is Christoph Addinquy. I come from Paris. I want to say I'm very, very glad to be here today. It's the first time for me in Lebanon, and it's a very nice place, apparently. So thank you. We will talk about Scrum Shuari. So the introduction for me was totally unexpected this morning, and maybe you guess about what is Shuari. Who don't know anything about Scrum here? Oh yes, we have some people. Don't worry. You had a quick presentation, and you will have another quick presentation, and maybe you will understand it a little better with that. So first of all, I want to thank the sponsor. It's very important. I know how much it's important. I was an organizer of a conference in France, so I know how important it is to have a sponsor and also the partners who help the conference. Very quick word about me, who I am. I am enthusiast with a computer for a long time, early 80s to be honest, yes. And I was many things, developer, consultant, trainer, project director, project manager, and even before that, geologist, yes. And I am agile addict since 2001. At this time, there are very, very few people doing agile. We have some kind of conspiration, agile conspiration back in this time. I'm agile coach in a French company named Zenica, and one of the boss of the company come from Lebanon, in fact. And I was also a founding member of the French Scrum user group in France, and I was board member for 5 years about that. So, first thing, agile, what it's all about. You will hear a lot of people saying they do agile, but in fact you don't do agile. You can do cookies, but you don't do agile. You are agile. You be agile. And being agile, what it means, Pierre told us this morning, being agile is in fact becoming agile. Always becoming agile. So agile is not a destination. It's really a journey. And it's a long journey. To explain this long journey, let me talk to you about something named the Kinefin model. Simple thing. Kinefin model is a model of field complexity based on causal relationship. Simple. Nobody understands anything, I think. Okay, that's right. But in fact, it's simple. Take this one. Simple fields. What does it mean? It means you do something and you get something. You have a direct relationship between what you do and what you can expect to have. This is a field from, for example, mass manufacturing. So it's highly predictive field. When you do something, you know what you will have. Development projects are not here. There are no development projects in this simple field. However, a lot of methods are based on this section. For instance, highly known method here is what is called the principle of scientific management, so-called terrorism. Terrorism applies here, and it fits perfectly here. Unfortunately, a lot of software methods are derived from terrorism. The waterfall approach, in fact, looks like a lot terrorism. Okay, let's move on. Complicated field. Complicated field is less predictable, but still predictable. The causal relationship is you do something, you can predict what you will have with some analysis. If you want to make a relationship with manufacturing, it looks like haute couture or something like that, you know. You will find some software project here. The simple project, you rebuild an already known system or something like that. It fits here. But in fact, most of the projects are in the complex field. The causal relationship is more strange here. It's when you do something, you can't really predict what you will have. But once you have it, you can trace back the relationship with your action. This is the domain of emergence. If we want to make a relationship with something we know, it's evolution. We are human beings, and we can trace back the relationship with the early form of life by looking at the transformation of the genome, things like that. But if we go back 1 billion years ago, we can't predict with a very simple form of life that there will be human being or anything else 1 billion years later, you see? And most of our projects right now are in this field. Or we come out in this situation by making experiment. We think by doing something, we come out with some output, we try it and see the feedback and move on. So it's an iterative and experimental model here. Agile method belongs here, of course. And then this one, we will not speak a lot of this one. The chaotic field is there is no relationship between what you do and what you get. It's for instance, the field of people working on outline or things like that. You just react to the event, that's it. So you see it's a long walk from here to here. And the work we will do is, of course, the Shuari. So I sum up the 3 steps. First thing, it comes from Aikido, in fact. You know, the way you learn the Aikido. In the Shu, you just follow the rule. A master told you, okay, this move, you do it like that. You ask no question, you follow exactly the move the master told you. And repeat it again and again until it looks natural for you and it's no longer an effort to do the move. Once you reach this level, you move to the Ha. The Ha means detach, break the limit. So, because you know how to do the move, you know how to do some variation around the move. You appropriate the way you do the move. So in some way, you hone the way you do the Aikido or Scrum here. And after many years, at some point in time, you will get the point that you no longer need the rule because you know Aikido, you know Agile, you know Scrum. The rules are good to help you to learn how to do something, but once these things are in your bone, you no longer need the rule. You do your own Aikido, you do your own way to be Agile. So, why Scrum and why does it fit well for this progression? I look Scrum like a furniture, like that. A very good furniture, practical one, but an empty furniture with shelves. So this furniture is very good, it's very practical, but in fact, this is really practical once you put something on the shelf. And year after year, you learn how to use this furniture. You move things from one shelf to the other. You remove things, replace it with something else. And year after year, your furniture becomes more and more practical. This is Scrum. And that's why Scrum is really our companion for this journey. And for me, my view of Scrum, this is the real nature of Scrum. This why Scrum strike, really. So let's look at it. Scrum shoe, what it is. You had an overview this morning, but let's go again. Scrum shoe follows a guide, like I say. And there is a guide about Scrum. This is this little thing. It's 13 pages long. It's 1 hour reading, no more. All Scrum here. So you can get it. It's free on the internet, no problem. What's there? 1 framework, 3 rules, 2 mandatory artifacts, 4 meetings, 2 cycles. That's it. Thank you to be at my session. Have a nice day. And in fact, I can even sum up this thing in 1 picture. Even smaller. This is Scrum, all of Scrum, here. How does it work? You have a project, you have a vision of this project. From this vision, you build up a backlog. A backlog is just a kind of to-do list of all you have to do to produce the product. From this backlog, you sort it out and you perform cycle, sprint, 2 or 3 weeks, more or less. You take the more important thing of your backlog, put it in the sprint, and just struggle to perform, to tackle all these items from the most priority, higher priority to lower priority during the sprint. Each day you meet together 10, 15 minutes to synchronize between all members of the team and adjust the plan to tackle your 2 or 3 week objective. At the end of the 2 or 3 weeks, you have 2 important meetings. First one is a demo. You show to everybody who wants to see the product, what the product is. You collect feedback, and so move a little bit this backlog, add items, remove old ones, and so on. And at the very end, you do a retrospective about the way you work, what works, what doesn't work, and change a little bit the way you work together. That's it. That's Scrum. So let's dig just a little deeper. 3 roles in Scrum. The Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is simply the master of Scrum. That's the person inside the team who understands Scrum and helps the team to say, okay, take care. You doesn't really follow Scrum. Maybe we should not do that, but rather this thing. So is the guide of the team. Is also the person who protects the team against the interruptions, the things that disturb the team. But take care, protect the team doesn't mean isolate the team. Okay, the team still need to speak to end user, to expert, to people who are required to perform the project. He's also a facilitator inside the team to help resolve conflict, help to have a productive meeting and things like that. The product owner is the master of the product. He's the guy who builds up the backlog, the guy who decides what we have to do, is the guy who takes decision when the question came up about the product. One way or another, we have to decide. This is the guy who decides. He also validates what is built by the team. Being the master of the product doesn't mean he has to work alone. Very often we need expert, we need advice from end user if the product owner is not himself the end user. So he can speak to these people, he can bring these people to the team to have discussion, but at the end the guy who decides is the product owner. And then we have the team. The team is responsible for the outcome. That's the team who implement everything that needs to be implemented. They organize between themselves how to do the job. There's no chief to tell them, okay, you do that, you do that. They self-organize. They're smart people. They don't need a puppet master to tell them what to do, when to do it. It's insane. And a little thing, you don't have role like architect, database administrator, and things like that. Scrum don't care about that. Of course, as a team, you care about that. You need some skills inside the team, so bring the skills, just that. So it's up to the team to decide what skills they need, what people need to be hired to perform the job to be done. It's not role, they are skills, okay? Little work about recipes for meeting. The first meeting of the Scrum is a planning meeting. Two goals for the planning meeting. First, the product owner explained to the team what had to be done. So there was discussion about the goal of the items, or we will decide that the items are okay, things like that. And based on that, the team can evaluate the charge of the items and split the item into implementation task. Okay. Then during the sprint, there is Scrum meeting. One Scrum meeting each day. Most of the time, this meeting occurs in the beginning of the morning, when everybody is fresh and things like that. It's 10 minutes. And just the team synchronize about what they have to do. Here we have a typical, you don't see anything, I think, but a typical meeting. Everybody is stand up because we want to make this meeting short. And if you are not, yeah, in the morning. But you can do whenever you want. We don't really care about that. Okay, and you adapt the plan. You see what you have done the day before, what you will do today, if you have problem, if you need help, if you want to offer help, if we have to adapt the plan because some things are more difficult than expected, things like that. At the end, sprint review, I told you about that. It's more or less a demo of the work done to all the people who want to see it. And a retrospective, you will decide what we want to keep about the way we work, because it really works. What you want to begin, because you need something, for instance, your quality is not enough, so you want to do different tests on your products, things like that, to start it. And things you want to drop because they don't bring any value, so let's things go away. So it's very simple. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Many things, in fact, many things, because Scrum is simple but difficult. So I have collect some anti-pattern I met in different teams. Okay, they are funny. First one, I call it the mini V. For many people, doing a 2-week iteration is doing a little waterfall in 2 weeks. So we start by starting all the items we have to do, and we expect to finish every item the last day of the 3 weeks. And it's a little bit insane again. First of all, maybe you will not finish on the last day. And in this case, your sprint is little screwed, in fact. The second thing is, by doing that, you don't have a quick feedback on what you do. So, in fact, what we expect to do in 2 or 3 weeks is focus on the high priority items, put all the effort you can do on these items, and put them behind you as quickly as possible to get a quick feedback on it. And then move on the next item. I will show you later a little Scrum board that show this kind of sliding work between items. So in fact, inside a sprint, we work in flow. In fact, it's not something easy to do, because by doing that, we think we optimize the capacity, we optimize the way we use the workforce of the team. But in fact, our clients are not interested by the optimization of the workforce. They are interested by the output, really. And optimizing the output is not the same thing as optimizing your workforce. Okay, next thing. Only the tests remain to be performed. In many organizations, people want to keep the test team separated from the development team, because they say we can't trust the team to do the right test. They will lie, they will do some tricks to make the test pass, things like that. So they keep a separate entity for that. My experience is people are not dishonest, in fact, regarding the work they do. And there is a big fail in agile doing that. Because what do? You do a 2 or 3 week iteration, you implement something, and what is the real value of what you have implemented at the end of the 3 weeks? I will tell you, 0. Your value is 0. You don't know what you have implemented. Really. You don't pass any test. You just throw away some code, but you don't know what you have. In Scrum, once you have something, if you can't guarantee what you produce, there are only 2 values, 0 or 100%, no intermediate value. In this pattern, you produce 0. Actually, you don't produce 0, because what you produce is some kind of technical depth, because you add some code and untested code. So you produce a negative value. How to listen? And of course, after that, you have all this stuff. The test team will test it in the next iteration, or more often in the next one. They will report some bug, so you will get all this stuff, fix the bug, deliver again, and then, in fact, the stuff you work on this iteration really be done after something like 2 months or something like that. Right. So this is not Scrum at all. In Scrum, our test team should be inside the iteration with the development team, nowhere around. A pattern we meet very often in France, the Scrum bot. You meet organizations that say, okay, Scrum is very good, but I need to adapt it to my organization. My organization is very, very special. We do things that nobody else do. And we have this little thing of our old process. They are very good, so we want to inject it in Scrum. In fact, what this company really do, they really get their old methods, put the agile words on their old methods, and that's it. And you know what? The name as the least important things in Scrum and in Agile. What matters is what you do and how you behave. Okay. Another one, the rush mode. You know, in Scrum, you perform 2 or 3 week iteration. It's very short, in fact. And if you don't care, what you will do is to go as quickly as possible in the 2 weeks to perform as many things as you can, And once it's done, there is a next sprint after that, another next sprint, another. So if you don't take care about it, you can get tired very, very quickly. When I was a project director once, I had to shuffle my team just before going to vacation. Not the best thing to do, but I had no choice. So I did that and get to vacation and come back from vacation. And one of the team, when I came back, they looked tired. The hand was checking just like that. So I take a quick decision about it. Is the next iteration there will be nothing in the iteration. They could fix bugs, but no items to tackle, nothing. And looks strange. I didn't do that because I'm a nice guy. I hope I am a nice guy, but that was for my personal interest. Because if I didn't do that, what would happen? They would not perform a good stuff in the next iteration, and they will not recover. So all the sprint after that will be like that, with poor result. So, yeah. So I prefer to invest in one sprint to recover and get the people on the right pace and start again, but with a reasonable pace. In Agile, you should be able to repeat sprint after sprint with this kind of indefinite pace. So take care about what you put in the sprint. You should be able to bear it indefinitely. Something that is often hard for a beginner in Agile is to do enough short story. Very often the product owner come to me and say, okay, this story I can't split up. It doesn't make sense to make a slice of it, so I need all this one. And the truth is, it's hard to split story. You need practice about that, but it's fun also, in fact. And sometimes I met teams that have story that spread 2 or 3 sprints long. Yes, that's possible. So please split the story. That's what we will do in the next session in the afternoon in the carpaccio. And that's it. So congratulations. You performed the Scrum shoe without a mistake, I hope. Time to get to the ha, to get to the improvement. So how can we improve the Scrum by adding some practice? The first one is in fact something you should do in the Scrum shoe, is having good engineering practice. So maybe it's not time to develop exactly what this engineering practice are, but in short, we often borrow this practice from another agile method named extreme programming. And the practice we borrow are this one, the blue circle. And for instance, one which is very popular is this one, test-driven development. It's a strange thing, in fact. It means that when you write code, before having the right to write the code, you have to write the test first. So you write the test, you run the test, and of course your test is read because there's no code behind your test. So the first test is the test of your test. It should be read. Then you write the code to make the test green. Yeah, it's about 5 or 10 minute cycle, something like that. And once you did that, you reshape a little your design to make it good. That's what we call refactoring. So you perform, in fact, a little cycle of about 10, 15 minutes, test, code, refactor, test, code, refactor. it's hell of a discipline. And you find other things like simple design, pair programming, continuous integration. This one, when I start agile practice, was the one who performed the biggest payoff of all the agile practice. Back in 2000, there was an integration phase when you write everything, put everything together, and just check what didn't work when you put all the pieces together. These phases were about 2 or 3 months long, classical integration phase. With this practice, continuous integration, each time somebody writes a piece of code, we test the integration. So we reduce 3 months phases to 0. To 0, yeah. Incredible payoff. Okay, move on. 2 ways to extend Scrum. From the inside or reinforce it from the outside. What is it? From the inside, there are some practice you can add without changing Scrum. My favorite one is this one, acceptance test-driven development. It's something with an incredible effect. What does it mean? It means at the beginning of the iteration, you work with the product owner, and I do that by doing a little workshop with 3 or 4 people, one tester, if there are testers, product owner, one developer, one end user, something like that. No more than 4 people. And you write test against the specification you have. And just perform that in a 1 or 2 hour workshop, some kind of brainstorming of all the case you may cross against this specification. And you get 3 effects. First one, you have test. Okay, this one is easy. Second one, you debug the specification, because this workshop are not test workshop. In fact, they are requirement workshop, because what you are doing is instantiation of specification into test. So you can very quickly get a specification where people work on for 2 or 3 months, and in 2 hours find 2 or 3 bugs. I do it on a regular basis. Very easy, very easy. You find them. The third one is alignment. Putting people together and thinking about the test, remove the inconsistency and the interpretation of people about the requirements. At some point in the workshop, people will say, okay, for me, the output should be this one, and another one, oh no, for me, it's this one. Okay, so it's interpretation. And you know what? A common source of anomalies are often a different interpretation of the specification. So you just remove this anomaly at the beginning. Okay, a quick one. You can improve also your Scrum by borrowing requirements practice from agile practice or non-agile practice, in fact. So this is a quick survey I do. It's about 2 hours of work by grabbing all the requirement practice I know about. Yeah.
In terms of when you say specifications and then you say alignment of the team and sharing collectively, from someone who isn't in the software background, so basically if I get a brief, it's about aligning the team about that brief in a couple of hours, so that we cut down on miscommunication along the way, and we
yes.
communal vision, right?
Yes.
Did I understand correctly?
Yes, because when you write tests, you just say, okay, in this situation, if I had this kind of input and this kind of initial state, I should get this result. While in the
scenarios within that that.
Yes, with concrete value, with concrete situation. And
You talked about the XP programming and the certification, etc. Isn't it that these two slides actually are the essence of software engineering? This is what software engineering is about. So actually prevent handling code, bugs at the code level, and describe the best case scenario at the design level, and pursue it at the design level.
yeah.
So what's the difference between the XP programming and software engineering? Is it a further implementation of it, or actually it is the software engineering?
In fact, I don't do that much difference. For me, it's a practice. You could call it software engineering practice. I don't really care about that, to be honest. And the difference between the XP practice of test-driven development is about testing your code, or you expect your code behave. Acceptance test-driven development is about what do you expect from the functionality. In fact, it's a question of level. So the first one is for engineer. The second one is more for the product owner or people like that. That's it. Okay. Something you hear more and more, and you hear about today, is the power of games. So we use more and more games. I will not dig into this subject right now, but roughly there are two kinds of game. Game to learn the practice, and you have a bunch of this game today, and game to do the job. So you have some serious game to help you collect requirements, share a vision, or things like that. Okay. And okay, something really important also is power of visual management. This one is in fact a real picture of a team I help. So it's not, it's absolutely not fake. It's real world. And you see what I told you about the flow. You see the flow here. Okay, high priority items here, low priority items here. You see, no need to explain, I think. So quality of this thing, you have under your nose everything that matters all the day, always. Second one, it's on the wall. You can gather around this thing, discuss, interact between you. Something very difficult to do around a screen. So it's very good for that. And something I like a lot, it's very hard to send a report of this thing to a higher manager. So the thing about it is you can bring the management down to the place where work happens.
It's difficult for me to understand what is written on these sticky notes.
Yeah.
Is it task? Is it what is it?
Here on this one, here these are items, the feature here, and the big post-it. You see this one are larger, and on the small one there are tasks, and they are different color because there are different kind of tasks. Here the pink one are the acceptance test tasks, and the yellow one are implementation tasks, and there are other color for the things.
And the team, they know who is going to do what, or they self-organize, or how do you distribute
They self-organize. Yeah.
When we talk about games, what was the practice? Is the game about the team is trying to program, or is it just a game between the team members who play amongst themselves? What is the whole idea of having games?
You can see the game as tool, as techniques. And for instance, for retrospective, you have games that can help you to perform more efficient retrospective, things like that. So there are different kinds of games for a different purpose, in fact. But they are not just techniques. They are fun and they are effective and they engage people. And the engagement side is the real power of the game. Okay, from the outside, I think I have to accelerate a little one, but a little bit. Okay, what can we do? We can, in fact, change Scrum a little bit. One way to change Scrum is to extend the nature of the flow. I told you that you should work as a flow inside the sprint, and you can do something a little bit different, is to not have sprint to cut the flow. So there's a technique called Kanban, and with Kanban you just have a continuous flow of things from the beginning to the end. So you don't have anymore some kind of planning meeting. Just once you have a place on the flow, you pick up the most important items to be performed, speak about that, and just put it on the flow. And you can keep also the cadence of the iteration by having a demo retrospective each 2 weeks, for instance. This technique is called Scrum, for instance. So.
How is this different from the bad practice you talked about earlier?
Because in the classic sprint, at the beginning of the sprint, you gather the requirements we will work on and plan everything and just start. Here, you don't have a start anymore. You have just a continuous flow all across the sprint, and just take care about the fact that you perform a feature, so you have a place to insert a new item, and it's a real continuous flow. It's not something with regular start. But Kanban is a subject by itself, in fact, a very large subject. Okay. Something Scrum told very little about is the product management. Because for Scrum, they are just a product owner. The product owner has to take care of everything. Scrum don't say anything about the product management, in fact, not really. And you know, here you have a framework for product management. You can see there are a lot of skills, a lot of things you should take care about when we talk about the product. So this subject is much more complicated than you may think in the first place. Another tool which is interesting is impact mapping. I don't have a lot of time to speak about it, but the idea of the impact mapping is, instead of having a big backlog, think about the impact of your feature. And the impact can be decomposed in 4 steps. Why we do what we do? To earn money, have a much more customer. What is our goal? Why we are doing what we do? Who we want to impact to reach our goal? What behavior we want to change regarding these people? And what feature will we build to change the behavior of the people? And you can think of your backlog this way. Okay, speaking about this different way to see the backlog, there is an advanced technique named Lean Startup, and Lean Startup is a kind of agile plus. Because in Lean Startup, you don't only adapt your product, you adapt everything. It's really something targeting innovation. And in Lean Startup, you start an idea. The first question you ask is the problem I want to solve, is a problem worth solving? Is there a market for my solution? Is my business model the right business model? So you can guess everything, and everything you think about in Lean Startup is not as a requirement or need, but an hypothesis. And like hypothesis, you have to tell, okay, I think this is true. How can I check that these things really behave the way I think? And I implement it deploy it, and check what I did. So you can change your mind every time. And if you do that, you need something. You need to be able to deploy in production what you perform very, very frequently. And it leads to another technique called DevOps. DevOps, in fact, is just a word, but with not very well defined practice behind. What means DevOps? It means put the guy who care about development and people who care about production work together. And it's not simple things to do because, you know, the guy in development wants to change many things frequently, all the time. This is the mindset of development. The mindset of the guy in production is we want stability. We don't want to change anything because we want to be sure about the behavior. So the difficult thing to do is put this guy together and understand how, what needs to be done in order that the people in operation accept the change. So it works for the development team. And on the operation side, how I can behave differently to accept the change more frequently. So it's essentially a question of making different people working together. It's also a question of tools, but mainly a question of people. Okay. What about the re? Like we say, the re is about inventing our own agility and understand what Scrum can teach us. When you reach the re, you no longer need all the rules of Scrum. So what I can tell you about that is my personal vision of my own re. That's the best thing I can tell you. This is it. When I come to a team, I care about three things. And behind these three things, there are many, many things. But my focus points are the three ones. Feedback. What are the feedback loops in the team at all levels? Code level, design level, feature level, end user level, process improvement level. That's all the feedback loops. You have a dozen of feedback loops. And I look about how they handle the feedback loop, how they improve their feedback loop. Focus. When you work in Agile, you focus on what you do. You focus on tackling what feature, tackling just the design that had to be done for what you are doing. It's all about focus. It's about not being disturbing by things that are not related on what we do. The third one is more strange, but it's very, very, very important. It's fun. It's about wanting to go to the work when you woke up in the morning. Just that. And I, a project director, I often ask people at the end of the day, for instance, are you happy to go to the work in the 4 minutes? To go to the work in the morning. And once you have fun, you want to do your job, you put the best of yourself in the work. So from this three ones, maybe this one is the most important one. Okay, just to finish, two examples of Scrum outside the development. This one, who knows about Wikispeed here? No? This guy developed cars in 7 days. They build up customized car, in fact. And each customer could ask a customized thing, and they run it in 7 day sprint and deliver the car in 7 days. So it's something amazing. The name of the guy who developed that, this car, you can invent such a name. His name is Joe Justice. Yes, really. And he performed a stand-up meeting each day with a guy from the company and a supplier. It's about 100% stand-up. It's absolutely incredible. And you can also transform your company using Scrum. If you want to make an agile transformation of your company, you can perform sprint, have a backlog of things you want to do in your company to make it more agile. So here, your company is your product, and the backlog is all you think you want to do to transform the company, and check how it performs. I have a colleague who does that for company. So that's it for me. I want to thank you to support me for this time. If you want to reach me, it's very simple. On the social network, I use my last name as a handle because I have not too common last name. Okay, I don't know if I don't think I have time for a question, but we can try anyway.
That's a good question. Okay. One is it that you have to avoid Scrum? What kind of project do you have to avoid Scrum? Because you can't apply Scrum at every instance.
What kind of project? I don't see the things that come to my mind, but
in general, can we apply Scrum at any level, any project?
We probably can, but I'm not quite sure that it's the best thing to do in all the cases. It's not one size fits all. You have to think more. Very simple and very easy, and all Scrum is 13 pages, as you mentioned. In simple, but not easy.
Exactly.
Not easy.
So when you come and implement Scrum in an organization, at the beginning they always tell you that it is easy. They use the word easy instead of simple. So what's your recommendation if someone wants to implement Scrum in an organization? What are the key factors that they have to keep in mind? Because when Scrum is not applied correctly, we can see how downfall, like, it can just go down. When I implement Scrum, I take care of 3 things. First thing, I missed it the first time I did it, is to have an immersion day, at least one day, to make people understand the agile principle. First thing. Second thing is make people understand that they will not be in danger. We will make experimentation. We'll probably screw up our sprints. That's not a big thing. We are here to improve, and they have to understand that. They are not in danger. We try to improve ourselves. Third thing, when you switch to Scrum, take care of people not going too fast. Actively. The first sprint, try to do the things right. And you have to take care of that because the people in the development team want to rush, in fact. So as a manager or as a coach, you have to take care and make them not rush actively. That's what I take care of.